Sickness is a defense against the truth. Let's ask the truth to come to us and set us free. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am, and let my mind be wholly healed today. If you harbor attack thoughts, or yield to judgment, or make plans against uncertainties to come, give instant remedy and tell yourself, I have forgotten what I am, what I really am, for I mistook my body for myself. Sickness is a defense against the truth, but I am not a body. I am not a body, and my mind cannot attack. My mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. I cannot be sick. Sickness is a defense against the truth. Hello, thank you all so much for joining me here on lesson 136 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students here on Tuesday, May the 16th of 2023. Sickness is a defense against the truth. We're reading from the original edition here in A Course in Miracles. No one can heal unless he understands what purpose sickness seems to serve, for then he understands as well its purpose has no meaning. Being causeless and without meaningful intent of any kind, it cannot be at all. When this is seen, healing is automatic. It dispels the meaningless illusion by the same approach that carries all of them to truth and merely leaves them there to disappear. Sickness is not an accident. Like all defenses, it is an insane device for self-deception. And like all the rest, its purpose is to hide reality, attack it, change it, render it inept, distort it, twist it, and reduce it to a little pile of unassembled parts. The aim of all defenses is to keep the truth from being whole. The parts are seen as if each one were whole within itself. Defenses are not unintentional, nor are they made without awareness. They are secret magic wands you wave when truth appears to threaten what you would believe. They seem to be unconscious, but because of the rapidity with which you choose to use them. In that second, even less, in which the choice is made, you recognize exactly what you would attempt to do, and then proceed to think that it is done. Who but yourself evaluates a threat, decides escape is necessary, and sets up a series of defenses to reduce the threat that has been judged as real? All this cannot be done unconsciously, but afterwards your plan requires that you must forget you made it. So it seems to be external to your own intent, a happening beyond your state of mind, an outcome with a real effect on you instead of one affected by yourself. It is this quick forgetting of the part you play in making your, in quotes, reality, which makes defenses seem to be beyond your own control. But what you have forgot can be remembered, given willingness to reconsider the decision, which is doubly shielded by oblivion. Your not remembering is but the sign that this decision still remains in force as far as your desires are concerned. Mistake this not for fact. Defenses must make facts unrecognizable. They aim at doing this, and this they seem to do. Every defense takes fragments of the whole, assembles them without regard to all their true relationships, and thus constructs illusions of a whole which is not there. It is this process which imposes threat, and not whatever outcome may result. When parts are wrested from the whole and seen as separate and as wholes within themselves, they become symbols standing for attack upon the whole, successful in effect, and never to be seen as whole again. And yet you have forgotten that they stand but for your own decision of what should be real, to take the place of what is real. Sickness is a decision. It is not a thing that happens to you quite unsought, which makes you weak and brings you suffering. It is a choice you make, a plan you lay when for an instant truth arises in your own deluded mind, and all your world appears to totter and prepare to fall. Now are you sick, that truth may go away and threaten your establishments no more. How do you think that sickness can succeed in shielding you from truth? Because it proves the body is not separate from you, and so you must be separate from the truth. You suffer pain because the body does, and in this pain are you made one with it. Thus is your true identity preserved, and the strange haunting thought that you might be something beyond this little pile of dust, silenced and stilled. For see, this dust can make you suffer, twist your limbs, and stop your heart, commanding you to die and cease to be. Thus is the body stronger than the truth, which asks you live but cannot overcome your choice to die. And so the body is more powerful than everlasting life, heaven more frail than hell, and God's design for the salvation of His Son opposed by a decision stronger than His will. His Son is dust, the Father incomplete, and chaos sits in triumph on His throne. And I'd say, oh my, what silliness. Such is your planning for your own defense, and your belief that heaven quails before such mad attacks as these, with God made blind by your illusions, truth turned into lies, and all the universe made slave to laws which your defenses would impose on it? Yet who believes illusions but the one who made them up? Who else can see them and react to them as if they were the truth? God knows not of your plans to change His will. The universe remains unheeding of the laws by which you thought to govern it. And heaven has not bowed to hell, nor life to death. You can but choose to think you die, or suffer sickness, or distort the truth in any way. What is created is apart from all of this. Defenses are plans to defeat what cannot be attacked. What is unalterable cannot change, and what is wholly sinless cannot sin. Such is the simple truth. It does not make appeal to might nor triumph. It does not command obedience nor seek to prove how pitiful and futile are your attempts to plan defenses which would alter it. Truth merely wants to give you happiness, for such its purpose is. We need to say that one again. Truth merely wants to give you happiness, for such its purpose is. Perhaps it sighs a little when you throw away its gifts, and yet it knows with perfect certainty that what God wills for you must be received. It is this fact which demonstrates that time is an illusion, for it lets you think what God has given you is not the truth right now, as it must be. The thoughts of God are quite apart from time, for time is but another meaningless defense you made up against the truth. Yet what God wills is here, and you remain as He created you. Truth has a power far beyond defense, for no illusions can remain where it has been allowed to enter. And it comes to any mind that would lay down its arms and cease to play with folly. It is found at any time, today, if you will choose to practice giving welcome to the truth. This is our aim today, to give welcome to the truth. And we will give a quarter of an hour twice to ask the truth to come to us and set us free. And truth will come, for it has never been apart from us. It merely waits for just this invitation which we give today. We introduce it with a healing prayer to help us rise above defensiveness and let truth be as it has always been. And here's the little prayer. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am and let my mind be wholly healed today. Healing will flash across your open mind as peace and truth arise to take the place of war and vain imaginings. There will be no dark corners sickness can conceal and keep defended from the light of truth. There will be no dim figures from your dreams, nor their obscure and meaningless pursuits with double purposes insanely sought, remaining in your mind. It will be healed of all the sickly wishes that it tried to authorize the body to obey. Now is the body healed because the source of sickness has been opened to relief. And you will recognize you practiced well by this. The body should not feel at all. If you have been successful, there will be no sense of feeling ill or feeling well, of pain or pleasure. No response at all is in the mind to what the body does. Its usefulness remains, and nothing more. Perhaps you do not realize that this removes the limits you had placed upon the body by the purposes you gave to it. As these are laid aside, the strength the body has will always be enough to serve all truly useful purposes. The body's health is fully guaranteed because it is not limited by time, by weather or fatigue, by food and drink, or any laws you made it serve before. You need do nothing now to make it well, for sickness has become impossible. Yet this protection needs to be preserved by careful watching. If you let your mind harbor attack thoughts, yield to judgment, or make plans against uncertainties to come, you have again misplaced yourself and made a bodily identity which will attack the body, for the mind is sick. Give instant remedy should this occur by not allowing your defensiveness to hurt you longer. Do not be confused about what must be healed, but tell yourself, I have forgotten what I really am, for I mistook my body for myself. Sickness is a defense against the truth, but I am not a body, and my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. Okay, wow. That was also a fairly long lesson, 3.5 pages. Page less than yesterday's, though. Okay, we're going to go and look in chapter 15. We're ready for section 2, uses of time. And while you're finding that, let's see what on earth is going on here on Tuesday, May 16th of 2023. It's Biographer's Day, International Pickle Day, Love a Tree Day, National French word Coquilles Saint-Jacques Day. It's a French dish of scallops and wine. National Mimosa Day, National Piercing Day, National Sea Monkey Day, for all you kids that have little sea monkeys. Nickel Day, which is a metal with the atomic number of 28. Sex Differences and Health Awareness Day. Wear Purple for Peace. Got something that's close as I had to purple today. And that's a song by Mama Joe Vramajo. Anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit about how to make pickles. And there's a really nice little, I'll post it in the description below, a little YouTube clip, minute long, gives the basics. But it's basically pickle making. It takes fresh cucumbers, cut as desired, make a brine water of salt water and vinegar, Add garlic, coriander, mustard, and dill. Pack cucumbers into the jar and pour the hot brine mix over. And then you can either can them or refrigerate, but wait a week and you'll have pickles. Okay, and then also I want to tell you about a cucumber. You have to have a cucumber to make a pickle. Cucumis sativus, and this is from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. And this particular one, you can also find it in the Seed Savers Exchange. And the Early Fortune is the variety. And the Early Fortune out of the Baker's Creek catalog, it says it's a 55-day cucumber, a super dependable garden cucumber, great for pickles and slicing. Fruit grows 7 to 8 inches long and 2 inches in diameter. Originally selected out of Davis Perfect seed company, evidently, now believed extinct. Oh, the Davis Perfect is a variety that's now believed to be extinct. By George Starr in Royal Oak, Michigan in 1906. Upon its release, it was described as the earliest and best white-spined cucumber ever offered. So the Early Fortune cucumber. So grow you some cucumbers, then come up with your own basic recipe and make you some pickles. All right, let's take a look at the uses of time. The ego is an ally of time, but not a friend, for it is mistrustful. Oh, let me put this back up here. The wind's not blowing right this minute, but give me just a moment. I hang a couple clothespins to my paper so that if the wind comes up, at least it falls back into place and I can play my song without it flipping out of the way. Okay, now let's go uses of time. The ego is an ally of time, but not a friend, for it is as mistrustful of death as it is of life, and what it wants for you it cannot tolerate. The ego wants you dead, but not itself. The outcome of its strange religion must therefore be the conviction that it can pursue you beyond the grave. And out of its unwillingness for you to find peace even in the death it wants for you, it offers you immortality in hell. It speaks to you of heaven, but assures you that heaven is not for you. How can the guilty hope for heaven? The belief in hell is inescapable to those who identify with the ego. Their nightmares and their fears are all associated with the ego. The ego teaches that hell is in the future, for this is what all its teaching is directed to. Hell is its goal, for although the ego aims at death and dissolution as an end, it does not believe it. The goal of death, which it craves for you, leaves it unsatisfied. No one who follows the ego's teaching is without the fear of death. Yet if death were thought of merely as an end to pain, would it be feared? We have seen this strange paradox on the ego's thought system before, but never so clearly as here. For the ego must seem to keep fear from you to keep your allegiance, yet it must engender fear in order to maintain itself. So it needs you to, it doesn't want you to have so much fear that you'll give up the ego. But we're starting to learn that even a little bit of fear is worth looking at and give up the ego. But from the ego's perspective, the ego must seem to keep fear from you to keep your allegiance, yet it must engender fear in order to maintain itself. Again, at paragraph 5, again, the ego tries and all too frequently succeeds in doing both by using dissociation for holding its contradictory aims together so that they seem to be reconciled. Let's listen to that sentence again. Again, the ego tries and all too frequently succeeds in doing both by using dissociation for holding its contradictory aims together so that they seem to be reconciled. The ego teaches thus: death is the end as far as hope of heaven goes. Yet because you and itself cannot be separated, and because it cannot conceive of its own death, it will pursue you still because guilt is eternal. Such is the ego's version of immortality, and it is this the ego's version of time supports. The ego teaches that heaven is here and now because the future is hell. Even when it attacks so savagely that it tries to take the life of someone who hears it temporarily as the only voice, it speaks of hell even to him, for it tells him hell is here and bids him leap from hell into oblivion. The only time the ego allows anyone to look upon with some amount of equanimity is the past, and even there its only value is that it is no more. 7. How bleak and despairing is the ego's use of time, and how terrifying! For underneath its fanatical insistence that the past and future be the same is hidden a far more insidious threat to peace. The ego does not advertise its final threat, for it would have its worshippers still believe that it can offer the escape from it. But the belief in guilt must lead to the belief in hell, and always does. The only way in which the ego allows the fear of hell to be experienced is to bring hell here, but always as a foretaste of the future. For no one who considers himself as deserving hell can believe that punishment will end in peace. 8. The Holy Spirit teaches thus: there is no hell. Hell is only what the ego has made of the present. The belief in hell is what prevents you from understanding the present, because you are afraid of the present. The Holy Spirit leads as steadily to heaven as the ego drives to hell. For the Holy Spirit, who knows only the present, uses it to undo the fear by which the ego would make the present useless. There is no escape from fear in the ego's use of time, for time, according to its teaching, is nothing but a teaching device for compounding guilt until it becomes all-encompassing and demands vengeance forever. The Holy Spirit would undo all of this now. Ask Him for help. Fear is not of the present, but only of the past and future, which do not exist. There is no fear in the present, when each instant stands clear and separated from the past, without its shadow reaching out into the future. Each instant is a clean, untarnished birth, in which the Son of God emerges from the past into the present, and the present extends forever. It is so beautiful and so clean and free of guilt that nothing but happiness is there. No darkness is remembered, and immortality and joy are now. Enter heaven now. Okay, well, let's go take a look at our lesson once again. We'll sing it, and let's remember that we're to take 15 minutes twice today, and then as needed throughout the day, remind yourself if you harbor attack thoughts or yield to judgment or make plans against uncertainties to come, give instant remedy and tell yourself, I've forgotten what I am and I'm forgotten what I am, what I really am. For I mistook my body for myself. Sickness is a defense against the truth. But I'm not a body, and my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. Sickness is a defense against the truth. Sickness is a defense against the truth. Let us ask the truth to come to us and set us free. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am, and let my mind be wholly healed today. And if you harbor attack thoughts or yield to judgment, or make plans against uncertainties to come, give instant remedy and tell yourself, I have forgotten what I am, what I really am, for I mistook my body for myself. Sickness is a defense against the truth. But I am not a body, I am not a body, and my mind cannot attack, my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick, I cannot be sick. Sickness is a defense against the truth. Let's ask the truth to come to us and set us free. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am, and let my mind be wholly healed today. If you harbor attack thoughts, or yield to judgment, or make plans against uncertainties to come, give instant remedy and tell yourself, I have forgotten what I am, what I really am, for I mistook my body for myself. Sickness is a defense against the truth. But I am not a body, I am not a body, and my mind cannot attack, my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick, I cannot be sick. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am, and let my body be wholly healed today. Let my mind let my mind be wholly healed today. Sickness is a defense against the truth. Sickness is a defense against the truth.